Well, everything started out kind of strong this morning on the overnight session, and then the soybeans faded throughout the morning. This is your daily market summary on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, and I'm being joined by Corey Bratland of agmarket.net. And Corey, what did we see come out of those markets today as the session ends?
Yeah, typical fashion. We like to start out kind of strong throughout the day, and then as the day kind of starts out, as the day goes on, we end up getting a little bit weaker. So we end up corn on the day end up just back to virtually unchanged, maybe up just a quarter of a cent, half a cent. Soybeans, they kind of tailed off as well. They are going to end up day down about 10, 11 cents on the day. So not a lot of news in the market today. I know we got the U.S.-Iran conflict with the ceasefire being extended out indefinitely. However, there's still some tensions flaring up over there in the Strait of Hormuz and that. So that's got crude oil prices, moving, $3 or so a gallon or a barrel higher here as well. That, soybeans down. I think we're just seeing, planting pace on, especially on soybeans, is off to a really good start. And with the fertilizer prices as high as they are, Dustin, I mean, we are kind of wondering if we won't see a little bit of a shift in acres from corn acres over to soybeans as we get closer to that June 30th report.
I was going to ask how much of it was just in Middle East attention, how much of it was weather, and how much of it was the fertilizer situation. I mean, there's all three things kind of pulling in different directions on this market right now.
There it is, and this whole Middle East deal, it's on again, it's off again. One day one hour or 1 minute we think that things are calming down, and then they flare up again. So at least the grain prices seem to have kind of separated themselves from the energy market, which is very good. Now the funds continue to hold pretty big long positions in both corn and soybeans and wheat. Wheat's been catching a little fire here to the upside, backed off a little today, but with the dryness down in the Texas Panhandle, Oklahoma Panhandle, Western Kansas, down there, Eastern Colorado. Boy, I actually drove through that area, and it is very, very dry, and those folks need some rain. Now, there is some rains on the horizon, so the crop is going in probably, I would say, pretty close to average. There is a little maybe a mounting concern here as far as will we see some delays? The weather forecast does look kind of wet for the next couple weeks, but in today's environment, we can get the crop planted pretty darn fast. So it's hard to rally this market on planting delays.
Yeah, that's what we've been talking about. I know we visited with Iowa Secretary of Ag yesterday, and he made the comment that if we can get a couple days, even if it's 2 days, you're going to see a lot of dust flying if that can make that happen. Corey, looking at the livestock side of things, I know cattle had a rough day yesterday. Hogs have been kind of quietly having some positive momentum. Did that keep up today?
Yeah, the cattle market kind of been pulling back here. It started out stronger yesterday. Then we kind of got there's a little bit of uncertainty out here with this screw worm kind of getting closer to the U.S. border. The border still remains closed, and it's probably likely to continue. But it's just kind of question is when will that screw worm probably cross the border and get into a U.S. herd? So that's kind of got the market a little bit on edge. Also, I did hear there's some foot and mouth disease reported in China that is kind of causing a little bit of uncertainty there as well. But I mean, in those nut factors, other than the market uncertainty, viewed to be very friendly to the market long term. So I think more than anything, this break in the cattle is just, the algorithms just kind of trading the headlines. Now, the hog market, we did have a nice rebound yesterday. We spiked higher and gapped higher, backed off just a touch today, 50, 60 cents lower here on the day. But the hog prices seem to be stabilizing here and probably going to start to work their way back higher.
All right, Corey. Well, folks want to take a look at some of their market strategies and make some plans for this year's crop yet. What's the best way to get that conversation started?
Yeah, just slip on over to our website, which is agmarket.net, and you can get a hold of us there.
Corey Bratland of agmarket.net, our guest here today. Thanks, Corey, for the insight. We'll talk to you again real soon.
You bet. Thanks, Dustin.